Welcome to Love to Tinker. My name is David Sherman, and we are here today tinkering with vinyl cutters. Today, Cutter Pros, www.cutterpros.com has sent us a P490II desktop cutter. And we're going to do a little unboxing today, see what we got. Cutter Pros is an internet company that deals with all kinds of tinkery gadgets. They deal with everything from 3D printing, and this instance is vinyl cutting. As you can tell, they pack everything really nice and neat inside the box. You get a box of goodies here. The software is Dragon Cut Pro, and that you download separately on your computer. They will send you the license and the license number to download that separately. But what comes with the product, you'll get a standard USB printer cable, your power cable. There is a plotter unit that comes with it. This unit is for not for cutting, but more if you want to draw a picture similar to a blueprint or something like that. You can draw with this just like the cutout, and it comes out with the same precision. You get the holder for the knives, and you get 3 knives. You get a 45 degree, a 60 degree, and a 25 degree. It's about 26 actually degree. The knife will go into the cutter. I like to start with the medium, the red knife. That will cut 80% of the vinyl out there. The 60 degree knife will cut through the heavier stuff like sandblasting materials, things like that. And the 26 degree knife is reserved for different types of paper and things like that that you can cut out. And that, my friends, you also get a spare 15 amp fuse. That is the contents of the box. And you also get your lovely receipt. Keep that for future use. Cutterpros.com. They have one of the best warranties out there. They have a 5-year warranty that they stand behind the product. Most companies out there online I've found, I've did a lot of research on this, have a 2-year warranty, but Cutter Pros wanted to separate themselves a little bit and make themselves stand out. They back their product for 5 full years. So we're going to go ahead and unbox the P490 that we got from Cutter Pros. I will say that Cutter Pros did provide this unit for me to review, but I've been doing business with them for a while, and they are a quality outfit to be doing business with. You want to save all your boxing materials in case you have to send it back for some odd reason. But this is the first time I unpacked this unit. I saved it just for you guys. And it comes exactly how you see it here. All shiny and new. It's got that new cutter smell. The unit weighs about 15 pounds. Anything quality built is going to weigh a little bit. This is their desktop unit. I have in the back here, I have their stand unit, but I wanted to have something a little bit more portable that I could take to shows and to craft fairs, things like that, where I could go and set it up on site and have live cuts right there where I'm at. Very simple machine to set up. It's got the keyboard, the cutting head. Up front you see your touch screen. It's a very intuitive menu, very simple to operate. It essentially has 5 buttons here and the directional buttons and the menu button. In the back, there's the pincher arm that adjusts the wheels that pinch on the drive motors, which set the vinyl going on the Z-axis back and forth. Once you have everything unpacked, like we have here, next thing you want to do is plug in the power and power it up. Once the unit's powered up, it does have a power switch here. Power's on. The unit comes up to a cutterpros.com splash screen, and then it goes to the speed and the force. The speed that we're going to be working with is generally 380 to 390 millimeters a second. The grams of pressure that this unit can supply is outstanding. It'll go up to 500 grams. With the lower grams, it is what you cut paper with. The higher grams, you cut rubber and magnets and other things that generally take a lot more pressure to cut through. With your typical vinyl, we're going to be working with 85 grams to 90 grams of pressure. It's very easy to set up. The menu on the cutter, the force jumps by increments of 3, and the speed jumps by increments of 8. So when you're pushing up and down, it will go from 372 millimeters a second to 384. The up and down button is for the speed. The left and right button operates the force. When you get to what setting you want, then you hit enter, and you will see the cutter arm go up and down. The speed comes up to 960 millimeters a second, and the force default is 99 grams. You want to bump down the gram setting by pushing the left to right button. For the typical vinyl, you want 80 to 90 grams of pressure to get through. Some of the higher end vinyl, you may need it a little bit higher, but 80 to 90 grams is a good place to start. I usually set mine to 87. The speed that you want to cut through your typical sign vinyl is 372 millimeters a second. Once you hit enter, you go to the move screen. The move screen allows you to move the carriage for the cutter arm left and right. I usually set it to the center in order to set my knife into the machine. Once you get it to the center, you want to get the knives and the carriage for the knife, and you pull the knife out and remove the rubber condom, for lack of a better word, and then remove the safety tip and drop it into the cutter head. Once you do that, you want to screw the cap onto the cutter head. Okay, once we get the force and the speed set on the cutter, we want to hit the offline button. That gets us to the move menu. The move menu is going to allow us to move the carriage back and forth. I usually like to place my carriage in the center. That allows me to place my knife in, since I got big hands. There's a lot of this hobby that you work with your hands around the machine. Even myself with terrible hands, I was a US vet and I have horrible hands. I just had surgery a couple weeks ago, and I'm still able to do this very easily. There's nothing in this that you can't really do as long as you can get around the machine. I'm going to move the cutter over here to the side now so you can see everything. And now I take the blue knife and I place it in the holder, and I make sure it's seated down all the way. Once that's in place, I placed the top piece on and it screws down quite significantly, about 1 inch in it. And it has 2 rubber seals. And when it's in place, you'll see it sticking just slightly out of the top, about a fingernail's width. And when you do that, then you want to place it into the shuttle. In order to show you how you seat the knife, I'm going to flip the cutter over on its side. Here, the knife is located inside the armature for the shuttle. When you place the knife in, make sure it's all the way down. Unscrew the safety catch for the knife, push it all the way down to make it sure it's seated, and then tighten it back up. Once it's tightened back into place, then it is exactly where it needs to be, so it can go up and down and cut. Now we're going to place it back on its upright position. As you can see, one of the rollers is off of the feed wheel during packing, so they're easy to adjust afterwards. All you have to do is make sure the armature is in the up position to raise the wheels, and then you slide it gently into place. And as you do, you check to make sure it falls into the center of the drive wheel. Now that everything is in place, the wheels are set, the armature is moving freely, and the knife is seated properly, we put the shuttle back into its home position and get it ready for its first cut. Next thing to do is to load your software. We're going to be doing another video that will show you the whole process of loading software. It's a really easy process. The drag and cut software is amazing, and the scalp software, if you're a Mac user, is equally quality software for this unit. Okay, I'm going to move the cutter back over to the side so it can plug into my computer. As you can tell, it's a very easy unit to slide. And then you take your USB printer cable and plug in, and it will auto recognize your unit on the software. I'm getting ready to load the vinyl into the machine and have it cut for the first time. Once you make sure that the image is loaded properly, you need to load your vinyl. Once your image is loaded, you need to place the vinyl into the machine. This can be done from the front or the back. It really doesn't matter. As the wheels are up, you place it in the machine. I usually like to make sure I have the vinyl at least out to the front of the cutter head. Straight across the front and free to flow in the back. At this time, I will take it offline and move it forward and backward to make sure it's tracking properly through the machine. Then you hit online and enter, and as you see, the cutter head will go up and down. Once that goes, then you simply hit cut now on the Dragon Pro, and it will cut straight through the vinyl. As you can see, the servo motor in this cuts very smoothly, a lot better than the stepper motor in some of the cheaper cutters. It's a more precision cut, and the movements are a lot more fluid. You will notice it particularly when you're making arc cuts. When the cut is done, the machine goes to the home position. You lift the wheels, you take it out, and your image is cut into the vinyl. And as you can see, if I was to pull this away, it cut through the vinyl and not through the paper. It's almost like magic as it comes free of the paper. As you weed your project, it comes off in a jumbled mess usually. And you can just pull it off easy at the end and take it and throw it away. You'll have a lot of trash when you're doing this. However, your artwork is what's important. And as you can see, it comes free and clear. It cuts through the vinyl and not through the paper. That's what the P490II cutter machine does for you. It's a precision cutter for precision work. As you can see, it cut through the vinyl. It cuts around all the arcs precisely. That's what makes the servo motor in this much better than a stepper motor. Stepper motors work on individual steps and it kind of has a jerking motion, which makes the quality of the cut not as accurate. That's why cheaper machines will not be able to do quite the work that this machine will do. One thing I'd like to say about this hobby is how easy it is to get into. Loading the software, being creative, that's what this hobby is all about. Go get yourself a cutter and enjoy the creative process that goes into making these personalized decals and personalized items for your family and friends. And maybe you could turn it into a business and end up making some money with it, because that's what it's all about, is turning your creativity into something that other people value enough to pay for. I just want to thank Cutter Pros for sending me this unit to evaluate. They are a quality outfit. Please look them up at www.cutterpros.com. If you like the video, this is our first video, and I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. And subscribe to us below and like us below if you thought the video was informative. Come see me for more videos for 3D printing, laser cutting, CNC work, and just about all kinds of fun hobby ideas. My website is www.lovetotinker.com. I also do drone work at DroneOn, which is linked to my website. Thank you very much. My name is Dave Sherman, and have a wonderful day.